Good morning, everyone. This is Sandy Ellis Osborne. You love light and at workout challenge in the morning. Well, I am celebrating 1,500 days of exercise today, and it probably doesn't surprise you that this planking conversation will be a review of the highlights of my exercise. The most important thing for me is actually what inspired me to start exercising. It wasn't myself, it wasn't my weight, it was listening to another person I loved and trusted and making a promise to them that I would exercise 20 minutes a day to be the very best I could be. And I knew it brought a smile to their face. So it went outside myself is how I started. And I do it for me, but I also make them smile as I do it. And I'm striving to be my very best every day. Their challenge was for me to do any kind of exercise, and I do mean any kind, for 20 minutes a day. What I chose to do was push-ups and sit-ups, basic calisthenics, and then walking up and down the stairs in my apartment complex every day. And that's how I started. And around 6 months later, I was doing that and enjoying it, and they brought to me the ab workout challenge, and they said, I think you'd like this. And so I added that to my workout. It started off very slowly, just like 20 seconds of planking and very few leg lifts and very few crunches. But I didn't even know what planking was when I got that. I had never planked as a child. It wasn't something that was in our workout regime when we were young. But I learned by watching the pictures, and I did them. I did my planking. And it took me 2 months to get to the maximum, and I've maintained that maximum for more than 3 years. So I was doing the ab workout challenge, which is the maximum for me is 160 crunches, 60 leg lifts, and their maximum was actually 2.5 minutes of planking. But I chose to extend myself and see what I could do. And I am at 6.5 minutes of planking, and that's what I like to do every day. And so that was where I was then. My 90 very fun sit-ups and my push-ups and my ab workout challenge. And then as I progressed and went on farther, I discovered yoga. I watched Yoga with Adriene, and I was doing 20 minutes of yoga every week on Sunday. And then I started dabbling in the Foundations of Yoga by Adriene, and a light went off in my head, and I realized I could bring my yoga into my daily workout. So then I started doing tree pose and butterfly pose every day in my workout. So then in the spring, about a year ago or 2 years ago, I went to visit my sister, and I met a yoga instructor named Fern, and she gave me 5 pages. And so I put that at the beginning of my workout. That's my cycle of yoga. I started with just doing the moon salutation. And the moon salutation, I just love the moon salutation. Goddess pose, I adore the goddess pose. It is so wonderful. It is so glorious. I did mainly the goddess pose, and then sometimes I do the cycle of yoga. But as I always stretch myself to be my best, it's turned into doing the cycle of yoga every day. And the cycle of yoga that I share on Instagram and YouTube are the literal pages that she has shared with me. Now, over 2 years ago, a friend of mine did suggest that she thought I'd like to learn how to hula hoop. And so, well, this is the same person that suggested I exercise in the first place. And I take this person very seriously, and I treasure them quite a bit. And I went on a quest to learn how to hula hoop. And I found Laura at Hot Topic, and she told me that my hoop needed to be as big as my wingspan, and I didn't know that, but she told me, and she also gave me a hoop that was hers, and I found that hoop was perfect for me, and that was my hoop of love. So when I got that hoop, I began to begin and end my exercise sessions with hula hooping. 6.5 minutes of hula hooping, and it made me stronger. It made me able to do yoga poses I wasn't able to do before. And then one day when I was doing my 6.5 minutes of hula hooping, I found myself in goddess pose. And I discovered hula hooping yoga. And I've been doing that ever since. And you can join me with the 31 days of hula hooping yoga challenge if you'd like to do that. There's now 35 days in there. And there will be more because I love my hula hooping yoga. But I was doing a full body twist as part of my yoga and Kundalini yoga because I've explored many different styles of yoga. I've gotten videos out from the library, watched them and done them studiously. And in Kundalini yoga, there's this thing called emotional balance, where you just lie on the ground and laugh. Well, I added that to my daily workout after my 90 very fun sit-ups before I do my tree pose. I lay down and I do some laughing yoga with a full body stretch. But it just wasn't natural, wasn't working right. And then on Instagram, I was inspired and saw someone doing something very similar to my full body stretch, but they were moving their arms clockwise and counterclockwise. I did that, and it freed up my laughter. So now when I laugh, it reminds me of baby giggles. Such joy, such wonder, such beautiful things. And this is my celebration of 1,500 days of exercise. So what I've done so far is I've done the full cycle of yoga in Hello Kitty mode and posted them on YouTube. I did hula hooping yoga with Sandy in Hello Kitty mode for 16 minutes. And then I did my V pose, my butterfly pose, my head kissed the floor. Then I did my 90 seconds of V pose, which I couldn't do before I started hula hooping. Then I did my 160 crunches, 60 leg lifts, and now I'm doing my 6.5 minutes of plank. And it's closer to 7 minutes right now. So thank you for joining me in planking conversations about my 1,500th day of exercise. Thank you for celebrating with me. Thrive on, Ninja Kittens. Be your best, do your best, and thrive on. So today we stretched ourselves to 7 minutes. Thrive on, girls. Thrive on.